Ayodele Nzinga is a multi-hyphenated artist. Brilliant actress, true. Producing director, true. Playwright, true. Poet, true. Dramaturg, true. Performance consultant, true. Educator, true. Community advocate, true. So much more. She is the director of the Lower Bottom Playaz, Inc., Oakland's oldest North American African theater company and founder of Lower Bottom Playaz Summer Theater Day Camp. She is co-founder of Janga's House, a Black women arts collective, and a founding member of BlacSpace Collective. She is the executive director of the Black Arts Movement Business District Community Development Corporation of Oakland, and founder and producer of BAMBDFEST International Biennial and a month-long arts and cultural festival animating the Black Arts Movement Business District in Oakland. Nzinga holds an MFA in Writing and Consciousness, a Ph.D. in Transformative Education and Change, is a Cal-Shakes Artist Investigator Alumni, San Francisco Foundation Arts Leadership Fellow, member of the Alameda County Women's Hall of Fame, recognized by the Theater Bay Area as one of the 40 faces in the Bay to change the face of theater in Bay, it's true, and is recognized by the August Wilson House as the only director in the world to direct the complete August Wilson American Century Cycle in chronological order. A YBCA 10 Fellow, a BIPOC Circle Fellow, and a Voices Community Journalism Fellow. Nzinga is the inaugural poet Laureate of Oakland, California. I mean, it's so
that was a long intro. So, I am the inaugural poet laureate of Oakland.
yes.
I heard an interesting story today. And I believe in serendipity. I had thought of a poet earlier this morning, and at an earlier reading, Kim Shuck shared with me that the original thought for a poet laureate in Oakland was Mr. Reginald Lockett. And Reginald fell ill, and they never announced it. And they just never had another poet laureate since after, or never completed the idea of having a poet laureate after Reggie died. I was fortunate enough to be in readings with Reginald Lockett, and I brought a piece called Where the Birds Sing Bass, which is considered to be the best poetry book of 1995 out of Oakland, California. Absorbing a taste of magic, trying to figure the flavor 12 minutes past midnight Thursday morning, walking somewhere on San Pablo Avenue. I stopped in an obscure juke joint for 2-3 beers. Tinkling sound of a quarter in the jukebox, blues twanging guitar, Lucille putting it down on the table where you could see it, feel it, know it's real. Man rocking to her electric, sensuous rhythms, eyes shut tight, white and gold teeth flashing on his paint-smeared black face. Lucille, BB's lady, talking about friends. Friends. I remember them in the right light in Friday and Saturday evening breezes harmonizing, signifying and guzzling Greystone, Thunderbird, Ripple, and Green Death. I think about the way the purple, yellow, red, pink, and loud sky baby blue slacks, sweaters, and coats beamed in the street lights' glow. The Stacey Adams and alligator shoes that smiled. Sweet Charlie, fried, dyed, and laid to the side in a one-button continental suit. High boy shirt, wide paisley tie, and burgundy pimp shades. Winning every game at Moon's Pool Hall. Cadillac dreamers, hanging in there where we still die unnatural deaths. at the hands of imported cracker cops, anal retentive educators, mentally constipated politicians, and conceptually incarcerated drug dealers. In a town, in a town, in a town, in a state, in a state, in a state, in a nation, in a nation, in a nation. So bad, even the birds sing bass. Like that, huh? Okay. She say, you got to look. She say, you got to look to see. She say, you got to see further than looking. It all got lost in the crowd. Everybody turned backwards, eyes closed, trying to understand how the day got here. Ain't no pennies in the drawer. The dresser lives on the sidewalk. The sidewalk is melting. Don't look and maybe you won't fall through. You remember ain't nothing underneath. Even the graveyard moved. You forgot everything and it's too late now. Pennies pay the ferryman. Hope lives on the other side of the river. Think hard, it might stick out. Charts, lucky powder, and time. How did today get here? The face in the mirror got stars for eyes. Wolves in Lamborghinis issue orders for new worlds. Crane and bulldozer dream neo-colonial blueprints for a cultural renaissance. Bones ground into feathers, trending on eBay and Etsy. All artists report immediately to Homeland Security. RFPs required before completing your current thought. Where are your blueprints? They didn't see the crash coming, chasing the wave overhead underwater after pawning the guns in rage. Your breath on the outside of the window steaming the surface. You wrote your name. The sun came up. Your dresser living on the sidewalk. You broke the mirror because your grandfather kept trying to escape with those North Star eyes. Praise turned to American blues. Fingers move, looking for pennies in the door, speaking hope like fragments of language forgotten in shards of mirror on melted sidewalk, roots in a pouch hanging near your rib cage, dangling from the cord suspended from your third eye. Something is always dying, just not in the middle of the room. They were roses before they were mulch. 5 pennies in a drawer. A beggar's feast is better than an empty basket. All stories start with the potential of happy endings. I walked for miles in the eye of the storm, blinded by the sun I sought. For 7 miles, I was a full moon with 5 pennies in my pocket. Life is a dream that ends upon waking. Roses and illusions die. Centuries underwater, sleeping phantoms deep, the bones and I. Sometimes death saves you for life. Roses floating on the water. 5 pennies in a drawer. Now that's the smell of hope, she said. But she never quite understood that metaphors dress the truth for dinner. A meal of ghosts walking on the water, mostly bone, but some have eyes, floating across the graveyard. North Star eyes dream of locomotion. Transplanted trees grow in the direction of home. My MLK walk resurrected itself on a milk carton in Harlem. Then it became black berets and leather coats and guns. Locomotion became movement. They were roses before they were mulch. Something is always dying. Minutes, murder hours, every sunrise light cuts dark. Raging bullets next to the hope in the drawer. Bones on the water, bleeding lions onto the street, and the flow of lost religions dangerously feeding the lumpen. Baraka said, every man should see himself when thinking of God. Spotlights and sunsets buried my 5 pennies in the back of my mind next to the chatty dead people. I wanted to be a river, but the ocean branded me. One hand a spear, the other a shield. Neither tool favor. The dead won't shut up. They got them pennies and they rattle them like dice. Something is always dying, just not in the middle of the room. The wind won't leave me alone. Got me watching fig trees and praying to grapevines. Crows and doves watch over me, knowing I too want roots. That dream drowns 1,000 times a day. Sharks and itinerant poets, prophets riding dirty, God's trombones. Joshua rode into Jericho with the confidence of Hannibal. I got an 8 for some good green, some gin for Ogun. I favor brown liquor, drums and gods of thunder. I talk to the dead. We got pennies for eyes, and they rattle like dice as we float across the graveyard, ruthlessly defying the storm, riding on the wind, rage and bullets in an open drawer. I got one more for you. It's called #WeBegin. Spell number 13 will become your lucky number. I learned to fly at Mama's house. Learned to remember how escapes are part of my legacy. A dead lady told me my eyes would grow later, but I need to know now. You dig? I did. She said, you already know. And I knew. Now she and some other dead folk took an early interest in me and sent me dreams, sleep work on things I would put to sleep at dawn, trying to survive daylight to root work at night, wrapped in protection. Dreams that demand you pay attention. You got to move in real time, willing things to survive, to uncover instructions tucked deep inside metaphors, clearly cryptic like bones thrown, requiring action, nocturnal odues. Altars want construction, lucidity dreamed, vigilance demanded even in sleep. A classroom where metaphysicals teach sliding in and out the in-between, slip out and leave your body behind. No one can follow into rooms with no walls. The universe is an eyeball. That's you down there. You think from above. Before more up there opens. Cross over into the nowhere that leads everywhere. There's more room inside than one imagines. Whole oceans, places no light reaches. Creatures never discovered find space in space, which is endless. No end to out there. No out there. We are all. No in there. We are alone. All else is the dream acted upon. Waking like religion you believe. But I learned to fly at Mama's house. I know better.